Hello, everybody. Welcome to another global hangout for the Open Source Circular Economy Days 2016. My name is Sylvia. I am a local organizer in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the United States, and also a member of the global organizing team. I'm very happy to be joined by Melanie Tan in Singapore, also a member of the global organizing team. Before we start our conversation, I would like to acknowledge and thank our sponsors and partners, Renewable Freedom Foundation, Suez, iFixit, Philippa K, and all the participants and supporters who made this year an exceptional one. We have events in more than 70 cities throughout the world, with one challenge more interesting than another. With that, Melanie, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about what you do in Singapore?
Sure thing. So thank you, Sylvia, for that very good introduction. So hello from Singapore. My name is Melanie, and I work with the Sustainable Living Lab. So we are the local organizers in Singapore, and what we do, we are a social innovation lab that harnesses the power of the maker movement for a sustainable future. So I work out of a makerspace, and it's very interesting that we see sustainability, we make sustainable products, and we also I'm a firm believer of something called incidental environmentalism. So we were quite excited to host OSCEdays yesterday in Singapore. So we did it in a unique way where our theme was the consumer in a circular economy, and with a special focus on consumer electronics and appliances. And we even had a talk by someone who was a thought leader in the circular economy scene about business models as well. I think that's a huge theme that's being talked about right now in OSCE, in other places too. So what we did yesterday, we had a group of 30 to 40 participants from all age groups and all kinds of backgrounds, and we had a really fun time just breaking down and tearing down appliances, from coffee machines to DVD players, fax machines, even modems and routers and headphones, to learn what goes inside our appliances and how we can be part of the different processes involved in making our appliances, from the design process, the usage, the manufacturing, and even the end of life. So it was pretty successful because a lot of participants were just really excited to tear down the items. Many of them have not done this before. So I think in Singapore, we are a very urban nation, we're a developed city, but we have a consumer culture where people just buy used utensil, and if it doesn't work, you just throw it away. So what we do at Sustainable Living Lab is that we promote the repair culture, and we have a volunteer program where repair coaches meet every week to teach repair skills to the local residents. So that is what we did yesterday, where we brought some repair coaches to teach repair tips and techniques on how to take apart items and put them back together. So I definitely think we built a lot of interest in that, and we also shared a little bit about the circular economy in Southeast Asia. And so we are at an interesting stage because the developing countries in Southeast Asia are only beginning to define the terms of what circular economy is in their own local languages. So we are also trying to look to develop literature and resources for developing a circular economy in Southeast Asian nations. So that's all for me. Do you have any questions for me, Sylvia?
It sounds wonderful. Yeah, well, I have one complaint. Too bad I couldn't ship you my coffee machine to be prepared, because obviously the manufacturer doesn't do it. And I think you mentioned that people just throw things away, but I don't think that most of them will do that if manufacturers would repair them. But unfortunately, the dominant paradigm is for them to keep on replacing their products. So that's one thing that we can do through our open source circular economy model, is to learn people, individual consumers, exactly like you did in Singapore, to repair themselves. And it's really great to have one of our sponsors, iFixit, is doing just that, repairing themselves.
Oh no!
With others how to repair their own things. We have created obviously a total environmental disaster by the things that we're throwing away. And it's really great, and it's very encouraging for me, and I think for many others, that clearly we are shifting the paradigm. And especially young people are very interested in doing more hands-on work, understanding how things that they use work, not only how to use them. They're also interested not to be very knowledgeable on the software side, but on the hardware side.
Yes.
So please share the documentation on the forum. Once we're done with the event, because a lot of people are interested. And who knows, maybe I will find out how to repair my espresso machine. If not, I'll go back to the old way of doing it, just boiling it in a pot instead of creating a lot of. But this is really fascinating. I think you've seen many other events focusing on repair and recovery of materials. So I think we're on a good path here. But in general, what happens with waste, especially electronic waste in Singapore? Do you export it to be processed in other countries, or is there processing locally?
So what happens is that actually most of our electronic waste is exported out of the country. And it's quite interesting because a local reporter actually came to our event, and they want to cover and they want to uncover where these electronic items go, because they've contacted like local charity homes like the Salvation Army, but they themselves will not reveal where the e-waste goes. However, there is recycling, I think that's why you call them like electronics recycler, called TESM. So they're very big in recycling electronics, and they are based in Singapore. However, for most, I think they do it mostly for companies. However, most electronics are exported out of Singapore, but the supply chain, no one really knows. So I think there's not a lot of transparency when it comes to where our e-waste goes to, especially in Southeast Asia. But also touch another point on when you talk about manufacturers and creating this electronic disaster. I think you're absolutely right. Some participants were asking, why do I not know? Why do we not know what goes inside? So as an exercise, what I did is that I showed them an example of this artist who took apart certain items and she arranged them in a very artistic way. So I asked them, can they identify the products based on the different parts that were there? And no one could, because we are just so disconnected from how things are designed, how things are made, that we don't question why things are made to last only 2 years. So this planned obsolescence is definitely something that we need to address. So I hope that answers your question.
By the way, we just had an interview yesterday with an expert, a German expert in planned obsolescence. We will post it today on the blog, and I highly recommend that you watch it and also start giving feedback. But he is really an excellent expert in planned obsolescence, which is what we're fighting against. And we have to insist in changing the value proposition for manufacturers. I still don't understand why isn't it valuable to repair something than to produce something new. Charge the same price or even more. It's still revenue. It shouldn't matter for you. But in a way, I understand as mass production has increased and the volumes have increased. You have created enormous production lines that are totally rigid. So
Yeah.
you have to have them work 24 hours, otherwise they are a total loss. So this is why how they lock themselves in and lock us in the current consumption model, because otherwise, again, it shouldn't matter where the money is coming from. And in fact, there is much better money because you involve much more labor in repair and maintenance and recovery, right? It's very difficult to automate that. You need a lot of skill and a lot of flexibility, right? So you cannot create. And maybe that's another issue, though. The way manufacturing has been going is reducing labor and replacing it with machines. But again, now we are bogged down in an enormous waste. But again, I think things are changing. And another great thing is that a lot of people want to relocalize manufacturing to take control of making things. And that will give them even more incentives not to waste anything, because they don't have a huge line of credit open at the bank. So I'm delighted, and I'm sure the whole community to learn about the work that you did and to learn from it. And again, by the time we really want these projects to stick. So it's not only a spurt of events in June and then we all go and mind our own business. In fact, we're looking for certain projects that we can bring to fruition. And yours would be a perfect example. In maybe at the end you'll be able to create a manual on how to these are repair I don't know, washing machine or a vacuum cleaner or a TV set or whatever it is. And with the help of iFixit, I think we can create that and really encourage people to go more into repair and maintenance. Did you? I think one of the difficulties that we're still experiencing is explaining what open source hardware is. Hello.
Hello from Turin.
Hello, where are you from?
Hello, we are here in Turin, Italy. We are now from 3 to 6. We are having a conversation about food, about languages, about open source informatic library. And then we will have a workshop from 4 to 6 regarding what can you do with different objects that you have forgotten in your maybe your house or in another place. So
Wonderful.
right.
Welcome to the Hangout. I'm talking with Melanie Tan. She's in Singapore. She's one of the local organizers and also a member of the organizing team. I will mute my mic and let you show us what you're doing in Turin.
Okay, right now as you can all see, we are having the people who is presenting today. I show you right now. Hello, Berlin, saying hello from Italy. And they wanted to talk about a little bit what they do and what they can afford to the open source and circular economy from their knowledge and their experience. So if any one of you want to explain to Berlin what do you do and why you are here and why you like being here, go ahead.
My name is Carlo, and I work in oil as economy vicina di informatica libera. It's something related to treasure and education and open source use in education mode and to.
I'm sorry, can you get the mic a little closer?
Okay. Okay. Better?
This way, it's okay.
Grazie.
And our association uses reuse hardware with open source operational system, and we use it to reduce the digital divide and let people have the hardware, the software, and the knowings, the concepts for operate in a more digitalized world. And so we make classes of alphabetization of Linux user, and also middle technician level, so we can spread the use of the Linux based software and reduce also the trash. So we both based on the circular economy because we reuse the hardware, and also about the software we base on the open source systems and techniques.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then, Amor.
Hello, my name is Amor. I'm introducing Cool Languages. Coollanguages.org is a website that we have created to help people to learn languages and to improve their level with peer-to-peer teaching and learning. And it's a website to register whether do you live and which languages you want to speak, and it creates a web map with the people around you so that you can improve your language without going abroad, without spending money, just making friends in your area.
Perfect. The last person who is going to present today, last minute sotto casa, and he's going to explain what he does.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. I'm Davide. Last Minute Sotto Casa is a web application created to connect retailers and customers to fight all together against the wasting of food. So simply, it's very simple to use because retailers just can subscribe themselves on our website, and then they can simply write as an SMS or an email something that he has in expiring date, near to the expired date. So you just write, and all the people around living there and recorded and downloaded via our application, we can receive immediately as a push notification directly the offers of the retailers. That's all.
And then the last person, Cooperativa Isola.
Hello, my name is Enrico and Maria. Here we are from Cooperativa Isola. We are working actually on the food distribution with small producers from the so-called peri-urban area. People who are using recycled grounds to plant food and organic food, and it's making organic food. In particular, in this shop where Maya is.
Yes, Equamente, which is in the center of the town. So we are happy to be here to continue give our contribution concept.
Perfect. Okay. This is all so far. Then next in the next hour we're gonna have a workshop where we are going to use like an old watch or an old lamp that people probably don't use anymore, and we are expecting more people for that time, and we are now talking what can people, what can person or can afford or can give from their experience and their knowledge to the open source and circular economy?
Before you joined, Melanie was describing their event in Singapore, which is about understanding how consumer goods work and how you can repair and recover them instead of throwing them away. So I will let Melanie talk a little bit with you, as you are mentioning that you're looking at an old clock to be repaired.
Yeah, what you're doing. Actually, I didn't know where Torino was, so while you were speaking, I had to Google. It was in Italy. But basically, what we did, my organization runs a repair program, so we taught our participants yesterday techniques how to repair and also refurbish their consumer electronic items. So, so have you been successful in repairing your clock? That's my first question. And what kind of clock are you repairing? So, can you share a little bit, share with me first, if it's okay with you?
I'm sorry, the first question was?
Have you started repairing your clock already? What kind of clock is it? I'm very interested to know. And who is going to do the repair? Can you?
Is the person who is going to do the workshop is not here at the moment.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
not here. And he is going to teach people how to do a repair or how to bring back objects that we have forgotten. So that's
I see.
the workshop that we are going to do later. And what's the second question they can answer here?
My second question is there a repair culture in Torino where you are?
A repair culture.
Yes.
Abbiamo una cultura di riparazione qua a Torino.
And there is something called the Restart Party, and it's born in February 2014. It's a little party where you can bring your broken electrodomestics items, and we teach how to try to repair it with basic knowledge about testing and fixing circuits and other things. It is not something that go against the professional repairing system, but gives some knowings about the culture of not use and throw away, but try to fix it, try to exchange it, and so long-lasting items. With this experience, we noticed that older things, older items last longer because it's easier to fix, to repair, and this is also something that can reduce some amount of trash we emit in circulation, things that you consider old or not so good, but if you can fix it and reuse it a lot, it's far better than the newest new things.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Was it a festival you mentioned that people bring their items onto the street and they repair? Or is it just a day where people...
I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Did he say it was a festival? Or was it just a
Melanie.
day? Sorry?
Could you repeat? I just
Did he say that it was a festival? Or was it just a day? Oh, it's a festival.
No, it's un festival,
Sì, un evento ci sono stati da 20 eventi fino adesso. 20
So far there have been
happenings.
20 events.
Oh,
Like
it's insane.
party, a repair party.
Yeah.
It's a party. It's a repair party.
Yes, usually inside a bigger event, yes, but maybe there is another thing we call senza moneta. There is a swap party to exchange things. Inside that, you can try to fix something with the restart party, or you can try to repair your hardware by installing with the install party of Linux or other opportunities to enlarge the life or the life on
See.
the of the items before thrashing it away.
Perfect. Silvia, do you have any question that you want to ask?
Well, I just want to remind you that it's very important to share with us the discussions that you have at your event. So sometime in the next few weeks, please make sure you post on the forum all the documentation, all the pictures. This is, as you can tell, a virtual event, but in the end, we all want to meet and share the knowledge on the forum. That's very important. Another question is you are having a discussion on food, and it is one of the major challenges for the whole OSCE community. And I wanted to ask you, how do you put the open source in the context of food? Because in my view, agriculture is the beginning of open source. There were no patents for about 10,000 years on how to crop, how to make food, how to create, how to spread seeds, until some corporations figured out how to patent everything and close the system down. But for me, I think food and agriculture is an excellent way of explaining what open source is outside of software. So open source is the free exchange of knowledge, the opening up the blueprints of everything you do, again, transferring from one generation to another, skills and design and knowledge. So I'm curious if you talk about open source in this context.
Yes. Yes, we had some seeds exchange events because there is a network here around. It's called Genuino Clandestino, which is genuine clandestine, who is fighting against the latest EU directive that prohibited selling seeds that are not certified in some ways. So they are exchanging seeds, all kinds of seeds, all the varieties of plants and groceries usually, in a free way. They are meeting in the market usually, and there is a specific moment, a specific area where you can go with your own seeds and exchange them.
Grazie. No, vabbè, la domanda era cioè, capire se parliamo di queste cose.
No, sì, di queste agricoltura, come l'open source in agricoltura.
Fuori del software, sì.
Ma anche a livello di eventi, però posso dire che c'è stato Seeds and Chips. Seeds and Chips, one month ago, I suppose, more or less, we've been, has been in Utopia, but many others interesting situations. We've been all together in Seeds and Chips, an European Summit on Food Innovation, and it will be interesting because you can talk and you can discover quite every day, quite every hour, quite every second you stay there. You met new people and they are really interesting and really on the point of this situation. So yeah, that is.
One more thing, there is one of our members who is planting all kind of wheat, of grains. Is a kind of variety which was called Gentil Rosso, and it was now, since the 50s, completely substituted with new varieties for making pastas because they are more commercial. But he's got a kind of 2 hectares for the moment, planting this old variety and making bread out of it together with other people.
Okay. So far, is that we have done here in Turin. I don't know if you have more questions or no? Yes.
Melanie, do you have any other questions for the Turin team?
Oh, so how many people would you expect at your event? And do you know who usually attends OSCE Torino? Is this the first time you're having it there?
This is the first time we are having this event. We were expecting, because it's the first time, we had yesterday around 30 people. We are expecting 30 people today. Well, probably because it's Sunday, and Sunday is not a very good day for many people going out and going for an event. So, but we are here discussing what can we afford, what can we give to circular economy.
Mm-hmm.
And probably next year, or maybe doing a network or having contacts, we can grow as probably a local organization to use OSCEdays, Turin, and give people more opportunities to know what is open source and circular economy. That's the basic idea.
That's great. I mean, I think it would be great if you could have a repair cafe that also goes along with your organization, and then people meet up every week to discuss and create certain manuals, such as for basic home items. You know, I'll be interested to see what Torino will come up with, because I have never heard of Torino before this, and so thank you very much for sharing with me what you guys are doing.
Thank you, Melanie.
Congrats on all the effort.
Yeah, so I will probably close and let you go to the real work of creating an open source circular economy. But I just wanted to emphasize that this is exactly what our community wants to do, to create these connections globally, where, again, we're more than happy to share ideas because we want them to become reality in order to solve the major problems that we humans have created, climate change, waste, social problems we have created. And we believe that this is the fastest way of doing it, again, by talking to each other, learning the best solutions, applying them locally, and seeing the transformation that we're all after. So it's been a great pleasure to see you all online. We'll see you on the forum, and hopefully at some physical meeting that we're planning for late this year. Because in the end, nothing beats meeting people in person. But we'll have to figure out how to fly without fuel, and maybe we can ask the guys from Solar Impulse to fly us over the world on solar energy only. But in the meantime, let's continue the conversation online. Have an excellent evening, Melanie. Have an excellent day, all of you in Torino. And with that, I'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Silvia. Have a nice day.
Arrivederci. Ciao.
Ciao.